When are y'all gonna understand that some of the easiest ways to score is simply by moving off the ball, right? Because you'll get angles if you're persistent, like Dillon Brooks right there was with his catch and with his positioning. So now he got such good positioning and scored without needing to dribble, just because he was assertive in his movements. You gotta appreciate players like that who don't try to do all that extra shit, tap, dribble, step back, none of that. Who's just gonna simply get from A to B, then B to C, and C is a bucket. That's what I was about to say. Look, as a hooper, y'all probably be in the half court working on a whole bunch of tap, cross, you know what I'm saying, isolation stuff, but you need a downhill bag, right? You need a downhill bag, because look what Dillon Brooks is about to do right here with his misdirection on Keegan Murray. Watch how he reacts. Look. He gets him stopped dead in his tracks to the point where he's no longer moving back. And he's just trying to stand in one spot. Hopefully he can get a charge, but Dillon Brooks goes right around and finds that little gap right there. Now we Euros, boom, right hand, lay. Notice Brooks' pace and watch the Kings' pace. And notice how they're going at the same pace, right? Monk, relax, pedaling back. He's never getting set as a defender. So now as Brook begins to get closer and closer and closer and closer like he is right here, closing up that gap, Monk is not in a defensive base to be able to stop a move like that. So now I'm able to get off my left and get into the rack, and now I get in the lay and hit right off the glass. Watch how Dillon Brooks is about to manipulate Kevin Huerter, right? Notice, right? Let's slow it down. Boom, look how aggressive he is. He's just trying to get there with all his might, right? And so he's going to get the ball right back, and he's going to do the same thing again. Right? Be aggressive, all his might. Boom, bump. Boom, bump. And now on that last bump, I get up. Because as a defender, I now baited you into being just as aggressive as me. So now you're not even thinking about being disciplined. Watch Dillon Brooks though, right? Look. Watch Dillon Brooks. See the pace. Oh, he tried to cook something up, but guess what? You left the stove on a little too long, bro. That's what you got to do. Now, boom. That jab, great. Got Keegan Murray out the way, right? Now I'm getting left. He's already trailing the play. And that hesitation right there gave him a little pace to be able to read what he needs to read. Let's read options now. You see Barnes literally stride over to get back into help. All the way into the paint. And he should have been able to read that on that change of pace. Because it was literally in sync. Look. Literally in sync. You should have been able to read this. Forget this right here. Read this. Right? And so now you got this weak side stepping over a little bit. What if I just stop, pivot, hit this wing, and now we playing a rotation back to Jalen Green, and if he don't got the shot, he ripped through down the lane. And you know what I'm saying? It's going to be tough for them to be able to stop him. Let's go quarter speed. All right, so boom. You got Dillon Brooks out of the deep corner. Deep corner usually want to be for more spacing, right? Or pull the defender lower. And so now you think, all right, if he is deep corner, that means if he's deep corner, Huerter steps up on this help, Jalen Green would have to throw this pass directly from where he is to Dillon Brooks in that deep corner, right? Straight line, but you can't because that help hands plays is big. Pause, right? And so now look at a scenario like this. If he is deep corner though, this means Huerter's tag will probably be a little deeper, meaning that this pocket will be here for a little longer. Now meaning that Huerter would have to also pinch in a little bit once Şengün does make that catch, and it could be a pass from Green to Şengün, Şengün to Brooks in the corner. Now Brooks is playing off a closeout, right? So little spacing like that and different options you can make as a pass could help a lot. But ultimately, this is what they got. I forgot about that. He kid you not. You deserve that brick. You deserve this brick right here. He deserved that wholeheartedly. Because you actually did something players simply never do. Dillon Brooks, weak side corner. He's not deep corner, but look, he's actually promoting movement on his weak side to make it more difficult for the help defenders, right? And so him simply doing that has led him to being right here. Now, should you make this one more to Jalen Green? Probably should. But the actual effort for him to do something that'll help generate a better look going forward, it's like, all right, take that. But now you got to learn from that mistake and take that lesson and improve on it in the future. So when are y'all going to realize this about Dillon Brooks? That he's actually a solid finisher. Because realize how conscious he is of the type of shit he's doing. You've seen that over-the-top pickup, right? And now you see him get here. And this is like Embiid, Tatum stuff. The players who get 10 fouls a game, right? This low rip-through. Understanding that if you get that ball low, extend the ball out, in defenders' reach, they're not going to hit the ball like 99% of the time. They're going to hit arm. And so now simply using that move in no scenario like that shows you that he's like, all right, I can get here and I can be able to get a foul. Let me just use this pickup, right? Instead of just holding the ball in my hand, just going up. Let me use this pickup instead so I can be able to have the chance of getting a foul. I'm not going to lie. We might have to start acknowledging Dillon Brooks as a downhill threat because you see how he's able to use pace and read the floor and make the right moves at the right times. Because notice here, right? He sees there's nobody else playing help. They're all just trying to match up. So now he's going to go downhill. Boom, bump, straight into contact to someone who's going backwards. I'm going to get the foul. Fuck the fact that Fred VanVleet can pin my shit off the glass because I'm going to get free throws, right? I'm going to be able to get free throws. So forget all that. Someone going back and I make contact, that's going to be a foul every single time. Hold on though, right? Brooks got the switch from Herder. He's off of him. And so now you're about to get into a pick and roll with Davion Mitchell on you. That's one of the best defenders on the floor, probably even in this game in its entirety, right? And so now, boom, off this first screen, right? Davion Mitchell don't even seem like he really guarded for real. But you can't take any player in the league lightly, right? Because notice what Dillon Brooks is about to do as he gets downhill, right? You're playing on his side. Boom, bump, shows the ball to start, but make sure it's protected the whole time. And now you can say this shot is luck, but at the end of the day, it's went down, along with a good number of other buckets throughout the game. And so now I feel as though if Dillon Brooks could really control his pace, right, control his attacks at times and just get a little more under control by dropping his pace, he could actually be a person who's a scoring threat. This has been a night full of 2-point shots. And so guess what's going to happen when you get an open look like this? I don't even need to shoot another 3 before this, right, to even see how it feels. Right, because I done hit so many shots already. I already feel so good about myself as a player, as a scorer. Now I'm going to shoot this, and that's cool. I'm going to knock this one down. Ain't no problem. This is just a walk in the park. This is where you rack them up easy. Sit in corner again, right? Jalen Green pick and roll. Now ball gets in the middle, gets to the wing. Now it gets to Dillon Brooks again, and he just hit that first one. Keegan Murray was guarding him too on that last possession. So now since he hit that first one, fly by, boom. Now one dribble, boom, reload, shot, step back, bucket right there. So Dillon Brooks playing the layers, and now them 2s before that you may have 10 off of, boom, 3, that's 13, boom, 3, that's like 16. You just racking them up now. But watch Dillon Brooks though, right? Catch, right? Long closeout by LaMelo. I rip attack, go baseline, force the help over. This help steps over. Now I got to find the wing. I hit a jump pass, but it's purposeful. To where now, instead of just jumping with no purpose and having no outlet, I got my outlet. Right? Boom. Now I relocate most importantly. Right? Instead of making this pass and just staying down here like most players would do, took a thing out of that's book that made it popular. Relocated. It was only a 2, but it's a bucket at the end of the day. Notice the pace. Notice how he's going to time Jabari's sprint. Right? He slows up his steps, allows Jabari to get to a point where he can make a pass. Right? And now LaMelo has to step up because he has the ball, right? And in stepping up, Williams takes away this right side, so now he goes to the left side. Now he just gets that simple leg. I'm telling you, Dillon Brooks really knows timing and pace with certain things. He just needs to get a little better at it when going downhill and getting through traffic. That's where he needs to improve on, like in the half court. Once he gets that, he could actually get a cool 16 to game. Because realize this, right? He gets this catch, right? He makes his rip through, ball gets hit, thought it was a travel, drops it. A lot of players will just freeze up because shit didn't go as you thought. It's not as ideal as you would want it to be. And so now Dillon Brooks turns right off of that, continues just to play basketball, right? Sees a gap in the middle, low rip through in case he decided to reach on that help. And now left hand, I get that little leg. So you got to make sure you consistently keep playing throughout plays, even when they don't go your way. That's what's going to happen when you got some tools in your system, some layups in your system, right? You take that 3, and now you don't got to worry about coming out the gate of a game and saying, oh, my jumper don't feel right, my touch don't feel right. Them layups, believe it or not, will give you that touch that you need to be able to knock down shots. And so when you get into a game, don't just immediately think if you're just a shooter, let me see how many shots I could shoot just right off the gate. Let me get my feel. Get your feel by getting some layups, getting some free throws, building your confidence by just taking away that donut from the board. And then you get into the other stuff.